my authentic self.
I just love a person who don't care about being judged, perceived, or what somebody got to say about them. They ain't out here trying to fake it and make it seem like they something that they not. They just out here being a raw, authentic ass self, and I love it.
Studies show that the highest vibration that a human can give off is authenticity.
I'm sorry, what?
Studies show that the highest vibration that a human can give off is authenticity.
I can't stand these pseudoscientists. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. We have so many different phrases that just go viral and everyone just overuses them. And one of the phrases that I think is constantly overused is, I'm authentic. And usually people use this phrase as some kind of shield for their lack of self-control. A lot of people, they confuse being authentic with being emotionally impulsive and not having self-control or maturity. See, not everything you feel needs to be immediately expressed. People think that because they just say whatever's on their mind, that that's them being authentic, that's them being honest. And while I do agree that society needs a lot more honesty, we also need a lot more self-control.
You can tell when somebody is truly authentic, when they are truly themselves, when, number one, a lot of people don't like them. Like, for the truly authentic person, they rub a lot of people the wrong way, especially those who are not comfortable with themselves. So you might step in a workplace or in a school place and you might wonder, dang, why does nobody like this person? Like, it's because they are authentic. Because authentic people, they are comfortable within themselves. They don't hold back how they feel. Like, they won't hold back. Like, they won't hesitate to set boundaries. They won't hesitate to tell you to get the F away from them if you are making them uncomfortable. They won't hesitate to just start crying in front of 10 people. People may feel like the authentic person does not know how to read the room. I noticed a lot of people say that about truly authentic people, like they don't know how to read the room. It's not that they don't know how to read the room, and it's not that they don't understand social cues. It's that they don't care about it. They are not performing for anyone. A truly authentic person does not perform. They don't care about the vibes in the room. They stay true to themselves wherever, whenever. People who are truly authentic can kind of come off as an enigma because they'll have one opinion today and a different opinion tomorrow. They're not easy to figure out. That's because they don't have a set identity. They move off of how they feel in the present moment. In fact, none of us have a set identity. Anybody who has a set identity, most likely, it's a mask. It's a performance. A really authentic person will like graham crackers today, and then tomorrow you'll offer them graham crackers and they'll be like, ew, why would you offer me some shit like this? They're an enigma. I say all this to say that when you are truly authentic, you are misunderstood. Something a lot of people say about me is that I am unhinged. I know that I'm truly showing up as myself when someone calls me unhinged or unpredictable. Those are the top two words that people call me. An authentic person isn't here to be understood. They are here to experience. I'm talking about, this is the person who will be super talkative today and then quiet as a church mouse tomorrow. And then the next day be super talkative again. And it's like, I can't tell if you're introverted or extroverted. I can't tell if you're shy or confident because every day they're a different person. That's what makes them so exciting. That's why people love authentic people. They're so exciting. This is also why people hate authentic people. This may be triggering. This may make others uncomfortable. Honestly, a lot of people in the world wear masks. A lot of people in this world are performing. So when you meet someone like this, it's definitely going to wake some things up. whether it be good or bad.
Let's not scapegoat us being complete a-holes and just insufferable to be around with "I'm authentic," when really, no, you just have the maturity and self-control of a toddler. I have a toddler, and that's exactly how she behaves. She cannot, for the life of her, control her urges. She gets upset, she immediately screams out. She gets angry, she immediately acts out. And that is the mind and behaviors of a toddler, because toddlers do not realize that they live in a world with other people. They don't realize that other people have needs and emotions and boundaries like they do. All they can think about is themselves, because that is where their mind is at. They haven't developed past that. Well, given our topic, I think a lot of adults haven't developed past that as well. That is the mind of a toddler.
One of the lessons that I had to learn was knowing how to control my urges and not reacting on my urges. Growth is difficult in a sense that when we want to do something different, we have to act differently. But we have low moments. In those moments where we're really tested, like our growth is tested, our ability to control ourselves is tested. I'm in that season now where I'm just like really alone. And I'm having to enjoy my own company. I'm really having to like spend time with myself. I get moments where I'm just like, oh, would it matter if I just, revert back into the past? The times in which you're being tested the most is when you need to practice self-control. But in order to practice self-control, you have to know what you want and what you require out of life. You need to know what type of experiences you want to have. If you want a different experience, you have no choice but to do things differently. And it's hard. But part of that is being able to have self-control, being able to say no. One of the main things for me is pausing in those moments of weakness and asking yourself questions. Sometimes we don't bother talking to ourselves, and that's where we go wrong. When we actually pause and ask ourselves, is this what I really want? Does this actually make sense? Because a lot of times you'll realize that some of the things that we want to do in moments of weakness or when we have urges, they don't actually make sense. Our ability to grow and to get to where we want to be is also down to our ability to practice self-control.
It seems as though a lot of these "I'm authentic" people, they behave and operate like toddlers. They think that their emotions and their impulses are all that matter, and so they act on those impulses regardless if it puts other people out, regardless if it's irritating, insufferable, regardless if it's just a bad look for them themselves. And the question that I have is, since when did self-control become, oh, you're being fake? Lacking self-control is somehow the epitome of authenticity. No. Self-control and being authentic can coexist beautifully. However, when you're dealing with people that behave and have the mind of toddlers, then obviously any amount of self-control is going to be seen as, you're oppressing me. You're trying to suppress my personality. Oh, you just need to love me for me. They love saying that. These same authentic people, they love to say, I guess I'm just not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. Obviously, yes, not everyone is for everyone. I'm not for everyone. I mean, you see my comment section. You got the little plug-in. You can see the dislikes on the video. I'm not for everyone either. But that is not to be conflated with, well, I'm just going to act like a complete asshole in public, a complete public nuisance, and my response is just, I'm not for everyone. No. Let's not use that as a shield for your piss poor behavior. Authenticity means being in alignment with your values, being honest, not pretending to be somebody else. That is what authenticity is. It's not saying everything that's on your mind, yelling out in public, oversharing, or refusing to regulate your emotions. I guess if your values are to just be a complete public nuisance, then sure, maybe this is your authentic self. Well, if that's your authentic self, then I'm sorry. Some people just do not fit within the societal norms. It just is what it is. Some people are not built for society. Some people need to be off by themselves, away from everybody else, because they don't know how to be in a public setting and respect other people. See, that's the part. This is about respect for others. Just because you have an impulse doesn't mean you need to impose that upon everybody else. It's okay to have your own personality. It's okay to be yourself. But when you being yourself directly impedes on somebody else, directly impedes on somebody else's peace, that is now a problem. That creates conflict. You can be yourself without impeding on other people. You can be yourself without causing distress or annoyances or nuisances to other people, especially when you're out there in public. Now, when you're in your house, you can be your full, annoying, insufferable self. Why? Because you are isolated from everybody else. But every single time you step out of your house, understand you are sharing that space with other people. And there has to be a respect there for people to coexist within that society. And that's the part that they fail to recognize. Self-control is a strength. Emotional regulation is a skill. It's something that has to be developed. Like I told you, children, specifically toddlers, they lack emotional regulation. And that's why we as adults, we as parents, teachers, caregivers, it is our job to teach them how to regulate their emotions. Just because you're feeling angry doesn't mean you need to stomp your feet and throw your body around and flail like you're a freaking magic carp fresh out of the wild. When you're angry, it's okay to be angry, but how we express that anger needs to be with respect to the environment that we're in. Throwing yourself on the floor in the middle of a Target, no, you're not respecting Target, and you're not respecting the other people that are there trying to just shop, get their things, and leave. That emotional regulation, that is something that we teach toddlers, and that skill is supposed to be practiced and maintained throughout your life. You're supposed to get better with it with age. Adults are supposed to be able to adjust based on the context. If I'm in my own home and I get angry and I want to just wild out in my home, fine. That's perfectly fine because I'm by myself. Well, technically I wouldn't be by myself because I have a whole family, but you guys get what I'm saying. If you are in your own home, yes, there is a lot more freedom to do as you please because you are away from everybody else. Now, if you live in a house with other people, these rules still apply because you have to respect the other people in the house. People they don't have that respect. And that's where the problem sets in because the people don't have the respect. As you mature, you learn to choose the right place and the right time to let out those emotions. Or better yet, the people with a high level of maturity, they find a different way to let out those emotions. One that is not destructive or chaotic or, gonna put other people out, but in a way that's productive and still helps them get that emotion out of their system. That's what you do when you are a mature individual. But no, these so-called I'm authentic people, they act as though if they wild out and just say whatever and just do whatever because their body tells them to or because their mind is telling them to, that's somehow a positive. Well, at least I'm not hiding who I am. No, it's not about you're hiding who you are. No, it's about being respectful for the environment that you're in and respectful to the people around you. Just because you're having a bad time doesn't mean that the rest of us need to have a bad time with you. It's very selfish. A lot of these so-called I'm authentic people who go out into the world and just annoy and disrupt everybody else, it's very selfish because as much as you're upset about things that are happening to you or things that are happening in your life and you feel the need to go crazy in public, you're now creating some distress for somebody else because you can't handle because you can't control your emotions. Social media is distorting the whole idea of authenticity, just like it does with every other word. Oversharing is rewarded, loud reactions go viral, impulsiveness gets attention, and so now people equate volume and ratchetness and crazy chaotic energy with being real. Oh, you're just keeping it real. You're just being one of the real ones. And it's like, no, you are being a toddler in a grown person's body. Context matters. There's a difference between being at work versus being at home, being in the public versus being in the private, professional versus personal. And self-control is understanding the environment and understanding the assignment. People who resist self-control often resent standards. And this ties back to all the conversations about being loud in public, about wearing pajamas and crazy stuff out in the public. It all ties together. These people, well, I'm being authentic when I leave my house dressed like a mess. Oh, that's just me being authentic. Oh, your authentic self is being lazy. Well, I guess so. They don't want to adjust for the environment, and the environment has standards.
A lack of self-control is a huge red flag to me because we all have desires, but to simply do what appeases you when it appeases you with zero regard for consequence and effect outside of your aim for pleasure in the present moment, that is a very dangerous way to live. And I value my safety. If I allow myself to attach myself to someone who has no self-control, I am also bonding with someone who has no accountability, because let's think about accountability. It is about holding someone responsible to a standard. If you essentially have no center, no set of standards, nothing that governs the way that you live your life other than impulse, nothing I do is ever going to bring you back to the place you need to be at, because you didn't have that place to begin with.
Society has societal standards. People who buck back with, I'm being authentic. They just don't want to meet those standards. They just want to laze about, be any old kind of way, and feel as though they should get the same exact benefits as somebody who understands the environment and adjusts their behavior and adjusts their emotions. Impulsivity is not an identity, but that's what a lot of these folks think. They think that because I'm being impulsive, that's me being my full entire self. No, this is you operating from a mind and standpoint of a child. Self-control does not make you fake. It makes you a safe, respected individual who will be taken seriously. You can have your different values. You can have your different way of dressing and doing your hair and all this other stuff. Sure. But at the very least, understand the environment that you're in and respect that environment. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this video? Do you agree with me where it's like, yeah, being authentic doesn't mean you gotta be a complete ass? Or do you disagree? And you're like, well, my authentic self is to rage about and annoy people in public. So yeah, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video, like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.